Easy peasy lemon squeezy does not make for a compelling podcast, at least not for your listeners. If you want to be a more proficient podcaster, you can't ignore the hard parts of podcasting. Hello and welcome to another Podcast Pontifications with me, Evo Terra. Podcasting's too easy. Oops. Let me put that another way. It's too easy to gloss over the difficult parts of podcasting that, when done right, help make a show truly outstanding and remarkable. I firmly believe that. To illustrate the point, I want you to think about your own process of making a podcast episode. Just an episode. It's always smarter to drill down, not look at the whole thing, but just one. Your process of making an episode. Or, maybe if you are a part of a podcast production service and you do kind of one thing, think about the process you go through fulfilling that particular role. Okay? Either or. And I want you to start from the beginning. Whether you're a podcast that does everything on your own or you're just one part, start from the very beginning. Think like episode planning. What am I going to talk about tomorrow, next week, whatever? I don't know. Or maybe thinking of figuring out topics and angles, maybe even before the episode. What are the topics and what are the angles going to be? Just think about that process. Put it in your mind for a moment. And from there, I want you to walk through all of the steps that you go through from that moment when the podcast for you truly begins all the way through until it is done. And I don't just mean publishing. I mean all the post-publishing work you do as well, like updating your website or doing marketing and promotion or whatever else you do at the end. Think through all those things. Now, when you've got that done, you'll figure out that some of those things are probably easy. Hopefully, if you've been podcasting for a long time and you're getting better and better at your craft, most of them will be easy. Again, the longer you podcast, the better you get and the easier all of this becomes. But still, somewhere in that list, there's at least one thing that isn't easy, or it's not as easy or the other ones. There's something in there and maybe some things in there that are actually difficult. I'm proof of this because there are things in my process that are difficult. Here's what I mean. Here's what they could be, right? These are things that maybe you just don't have enough skill in that particular area. There's a lot to podcasting, and we're all better and worse at some aspects. So maybe the difficult things you're identifying right now are areas where you don't have enough skill. Maybe the difficult things you've identified are things that are just too time-consuming for you to do right. You know you could do it better, but that's not easy. That's difficult. So therefore, you're forced to take a shortcut. Maybe this is a thing, or these are things that you were told to do by someone, maybe me, and you're not sure why that's in there. It's part of your process, but you're just really not sure why, and when you get there, it's always kind of like a speed bump. Or maybe these are things you just don't like doing. Maybe there's always this thing that I hit, and I just hate it every time, so finally just plow through it because I do not like it. All right, so now think back to your process, all the things I just said, and identify a particular difficult thing, just one difficult thing, and write it down. Grab a sticky note, put it on your monitor, your microphone, your mixer, your whatever. Identify that and write it down, because that's what I want you to focus on for an entire month. A month. You cannot fix this in one day. You cannot fix this after listening to my rambling and rantings right here. If it's difficult for you to do, it's going to be difficult for you to move past that thing so that it becomes less difficult. It may never become easy, by the way. You can make it less difficult, but I cannot promise you that it will become easy. You see, we tend to ignore difficult things because we're people, And also, there's a lot that goes into podcasting. And somehow we've done this weird mathematical computation in our brain that says, well, if we do these 10 very easy things great, then just doing one difficult thing poorly, that's not going to show up. Yeah, we're wrong about that. We're terribly wrong about that. Because the poorly executed thing stands out like a sore thumb to those who are unfamiliar with all of the other 10 easy things we did in the process, because they don't care about those 10 easy things. They care about the final product. And that one difficult thing is a problem. It's getting in the way. So, what's the one difficult thing about podcasting, about your own podcasting processes that you want to work to make easier in the next 30 days? I'll tell you mine. Mine is EQ and vocal track cleanup. My own vocal track cleanup, my own EQ, and then also for the ones I do for clients. But primarily it's all about me. And my problem is I know what their problem is. I'm not picky enough. And I'm a pretty picky person, as I've said on this program many a times. But I'm not picky enough when it comes to this particular aspect. Worse, I'm taking the easy road. I'm taking the easy road right now. I'm doing some, but I'm not doing nearly enough. So what I've decided to do is get some one-on-one training from a person who's much better than me, hi Marcus, and investing in my brand new set of tools. Well, not a brand new to me. Tools I use right now, but not the advanced mode. I'm going to step up and spend the cash to get them so I can get better at it. This process of EQing and doing vocal track cleanup is quite time-consuming, especially for a guy like me who's putting out an episode every day, the same day he does it, which is always a bad idea, but it's the format I have. So I'm going to have to figure out what to do about that, how that's going to impact my production process internally. Again, for clients, what I'm doing is fine and great because it's a different process, and I can use Marcus when I need to. But for me, I want to make it better. And that might mean changes to podcast pontifications, but it might also just mean I get up and do things earlier. I don't know. So for the next month, I'm going to identify that, get the training I need, get the software I need, and work on a better way to make this difficult aspect of my podcasting process a little bit easier for me and hopefully a lot better for you, my listener. So what's yours? What's your difficult thing you're going to work on for the next 30 days? This can be very hard to see from the inside looking out. You're too close to this. So guess what? It's that thing I say all the time. Ask your podcasting peers. Ask your podcasting peers who also listen to your show and know your process ideally. Ask them what stands out as less than perfect to them. It's probably difficult for you. Of course, it's difficult to get them to be honest, but hopefully if you can get them to be honest and you're open with them, they can give you some really good feedback because they probably know what that one thing is and they're just not ready to tell you. So ask. See what you can get out of them. If you love this idea, please go to buymeacoffee.com/evoterra and slide a virtual coffee my way. That's always nice. That's it. I shall be back tomorrow with yet another podcast, Pontifications. Cheers.